Good afternoon. So last class we discussed about the new religion. So that was Buddhism. So already I had given you introduction regarding the religion, that is Buddhism. That is Siddharth, by name Siddharth, who went on 40 days of penance, and he got enlightened. After that he found a religion which is called as Buddhism. So a ordinary person or ordinary man by name Siddharth, after this enlightenment, after 40 days, so when he received a higher truth, so his name was called as, Gautama Buddha. Buddha means enlightened one. And previous class, we talked or we discussed about the Buddhism religion. How the Gautama Buddha, I mean, uh, founded this Buddhism religion. So we had discussed. Before I go to the very important topic, so that is doctrine of, doctrine of this Buddhism, that is teachings of Buddhism. I just want to tell you the two sects of Buddhism or two division of Buddhism. So the Buddhism today is been classified into, Hinayana and Mahayana. So this is the two division of Buddhism we are having it. So you can see here. So what is the difference between these two groups, Mahayana and Hinayana? If you see, first we will talk about Hinayana. Basically, Hinayana, they are the original followers of Gautama Buddha. Who follows even today the teachings of Gautama Buddha. Okay, that is the reason they are called as doctrine of Buddha. That means they are the original followers. Okay, the orthodox follower of a religion called Buddhism. Okay, that is the reason they are called doctrine of Buddha. Second speciality you can see in this group is they don't believe in the existence of God. Okay, they don't believe in the existence of God. Okay, here the existence of a God means it's nothing but worshipping a God in the form of idols. This is nothing but the existence of God. So when we have an existence, when we, according to Buddha, the existence of God takes in silence. But here what happens, when existence of God, when we have, basically we start the idol worship. So that is the reason. So they denied the existence of God. They believed in the silence presence of God through the meditation. The next thing is they don't believe in idol worship. So when they don't believe in the existence of God, usually the idol worship practice will not be there. Okay, that's this group they did not do. And they never believed, Buddha as God. They believed Buddha as a teacher. Okay, a messenger, that's all. Buddha as a teacher. They never believed Buddha as a God. And next is they used a Pali language. Pali is a, common language. A Prakritic language, that was Jainism they used. So like that, Buddhism used a common language called Pali. All its teachings, everything was in a Pali language. This is the one difference you can see. The next thing, if you see here, Mahayana group, that means a division which took place after the death of Buddha. Okay, after the death of Gautama Buddha, the division that was new group was, that is Mahayana group. They are not an orthodox or original followers to an Gautama Buddha. Okay, there is one part or one branch that came out after the death of Gautama Buddha. So if you see, people believed Buddha as an incarnation of God. Incarnation of God. It means a person, Gautama Buddha, is sent by a God as a messenger to the people. That is the faith. Incarnation of God. A God has taken a form of personality, that is Buddha. That faith they had. Incarnation of God. Okay. So when they believed that the incarnation of God, then automatically the rituals and the ceremonies started to take place. Okay, rituals and ceremonies, meaningless, complex rituals and ceremonies, sacrifices started to take place. This group, they doing this. Then, since they believe the incarnation of God and they believe Buddha has a God, automatically the idol worship starts to take place. Okay, the worship of idols, basically it started to take place. Then they used a language called Sanskrit language. Usually the Sanskrit language is used. Okay, so this is the two groups which we are having about the Buddhism and the Jainism, so which we are having it. Then the last very important thing is the last topic of the introduction is, that is the Buddhism, spread of Buddhism religion. So if you see the spread of the Buddhism religion. So basically when we see where and all, now for example Jainism, so it had spread in various places. So like that, so Buddhism also a religion, so which has spread. Okay, so Buddhism. So this religion has spread today in various places. Okay, and the first and foremost the places, if you see, so that is in India. So in India this religion, so we are having it. Then second is in Nepal. Okay, second is one is, that is Nepal. Then the third, in Tibet. Okay, Tibet we are having. Then we are having in China, one of the famous place. Then Burma. Okay, so Burma also we are having one of the famous place. Then we are having in Japan. So one more the places. And the last one is, that is Sri Lanka. So these are the few places so where we are having the spread of Buddhism religion, so we are having it. So these are the places so where the Buddhism religion has spread it. So that's about the two divisions of Buddhism so we are having. So now we will go with the teachings of Gautama Buddha. So one teaching, so today I will just take it. So when I start with the doctrine of Buddhism, so the teachings of Gautama Buddha, the very important teachings of Gautama Buddha, the first one is, that is Four Noble Truths. Okay, so Gautama Buddha had seen four sides: old man, sick man, dead man and ascetic. By seeing that only, he went for the higher truth and meditation, and he got enlightenment, and he became Gautama Buddha. So according to Gautama Buddha, so in this world, okay, so in this world there is four common things which we can see it. Okay, in this world there are four common things which he calls as the Four Noble Truths. So according to Gautama Buddha, the first noble truth is, the world is full of suffering. So as you all know, in this globe, in this universe, the unique thing is suffering. The people suffer. No personality, no person can lead a life without suffering. No. Okay. So according to Gautama Buddha, few people will have sufferings when they become old. The few people will have suffering due to the sickness. The few personalities will be having suffering at the time of death. Okay. But here the common thing you can see is suffering. Okay. So according to Gautama Buddha, the world is full of suffering. Okay, the suffering is common or a unique thing that is present in the in the universe or in the globe. The second thing is, why this suffering is there. Okay, what is the reason why a person becomes suffers at the time of old age, why a person suffers at the time of sickness, why a person suffers at the time of death. The reason is because of his desire which he led it. Maybe before he becomes old, what lifestyle he had, and the sickness may be because of his desire, or the death suffering can be because of his, what were his desires. Okay, the suffering is caused by human desire. According to Gautama Buddha, in this world suffering is taking place, or suffering in a human being it is there, it's because of the desire. That desire can make a person greedy or a pleasure. In order to get pleasure, a person may have a negative thoughts or ignoring the people's, okay, the people, or hatredness. All this, it's all like a qualities. So according to Gautama Buddha, the negative qualities which is there in the human, so that makes a person suffering. Okay. Next, if you see the renunciation of desire. Okay, the renunciation of desire is path of salvation. In order to achieve your desire, what the lifestyle you have, led, or what the lifestyle you are leading, so that will decide your path of salvation. That is the renunciation, that is the result. Okay, that is the path of salvation. If you have followed all the negative qualities, your path of salvation will be to the hell. If you have led your life with a positive qualities, your salvation will be, path of salvation will be to the heaven. So here Gautama Buddha says the renunciation of desire is a path of salvation. If you want to have a good desire, and to that good desire to achieve, if you follow the good qualities, your path of salvation will be directly to the moksha. So to that, what we have to do? Spiritual joy. Okay, true, a spiritual right path we should follow it to achieve our desire. Then compassion for all living beings. Automatically, if you show compassion to the all spiritual joy, all these things will not come in a person. That is the one aspect they say. And the last one, if he is saying, if your path of salvation is filled with completely of negative thoughts, the salvation can be attained by following an eightfold path. So he says, suppose you have committed a mistake, suppose you have led a suffering life, to not achieve your desire, if you have chosen a wrong path, if you want to overcome that, so you need to follow an eightfold path. Okay, so that eightfold path will judge what kind of person you are. And second thing he says is that eightfold path, whether it is a true or it is not true, you should have a realization. According to Gautama Buddha, it is a true. But according to you, how you accept that eightfold path, whether it is a true or not, okay, that will make a person to judge. So what is that eightfold path? So that we will see in the next class. So this is very important. So you need not go with this explanation. This is just for you people. I have written the explanation. You need to know only this. World is full of suffering. Suffering is caused by human desire. The renunciation of desire is path of salvation, and salvation can be attained by following eightfold path. That eightfold path I will give it in the next class. But this is all for your information. You are just explanation. That's all I have written it here. So that you need not write it. You just write it only for this thing. So next class we will go with the eightfold paths. Thank you.